Welcome back to another episode of the Great Bump Talk podcast. I'm here with PJ Hall, my brother, Clemson big, one of the best players to come through South Carolina, to come through Dorman. Welcome to the pod, bro.
Appreciate you having me.
How you doing, bro? What you been up to these days, man?
I've been good, nothing much. We're in summer right now, so just got to finish summer classes and going through summer workouts right now. We're all for the 4th, so you got to come home, spend some time on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's about it, yeah.
For sure. But for the people who don't know you, tell the people where you from and how was your upbringing?
Yeah, so from South Carolina, born and raised. Upbringing is pretty simple. Yeah, so I like I said, grew up here. Mom and dad both played college basketball, both in South Carolina. Dad played at Wofford. Mom played at College of Charleston. She played basketball and volleyball. And then kind of as early on as I can remember, just playing basketball and baseball. Sprinkled in a little football, got cracked a few times. Was done with that. But yeah, man, I was playing. Had some kind of ball in my hands my whole life. So. Just ready to go at it all the time, man.
For sure. Yeah. So there was a lot of athleticism in your family, like always growing up. So how was that? Like
it was awesome. It was awesome and it was stressful.
Exactly.
Yeah, I tell you what, my sister was number 1 recruit in her class for volleyball, National Gatorade Player of the Year. So she was something else in volleyball. Played at Dorman, and so whenever I was coming up, it was kind of my whole goal was to get over that hump to show people I could play, and really I want to be better than her. I don't know if I ever got to that, but yeah, it's that was always kind of my goal coming up.
Yeah, that's a great role model to have in your own house.
Yeah, I also had an older brother who played college ball too, at Anderson. That was him being 10 years older than me. It was I never got to beat him one-on-ones. He was so much bigger and stronger.
Exactly. But so what was your first love when it came to sports?
Yeah, first love was baseball, easily.
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah, man. I played, trying to think, started off in T-ball 4. It might have been 3s. I was obviously a bigger kid. But I was playing T-ball for my church around 4. Then once I got into coach's pitch, started doing that around 6 or 7 or whatever. But from the time I can remember, played baseball from 4 to 18, going into college. I remember when I was getting recruited by Clemson, they were like, Coach Brownell was saying, I don't know if you should be playing baseball. You should probably be working on your basketball game to be ready for the college game. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. In my back of the head, I was like,
I'm
not about to quit. I'm going to be playing baseball. But, yeah, man, that was easily my first love. And honestly, I still love it. I was long tossing the other day, just outside throwing a baseball, and tell you what, I put on some weight since high school. I can still throw that thing. Now, I don't really know where it's going, but it'll get up there in the miles per hour, man. For sure. There's some velo to it.
Yeah. So speaking of baseball, I set that question up perfectly because I knew you was gonna say baseball. So I wanted you to talk about the baseball team that we had and how fun it was and how nice we actually was.
Dude, we were nice. We were nice. That. Yeah, we had a little travel team. Was it you, me, Jack, London, KC, Stags. Stags was on there, right?
No, Stags played with you.
He played with me in the other league. Yeah, that's right.
But travel, it was Logan King.
Oh, Logan.
We had Landon.
Landon Jennings. I'm trying to think. We had a couple other guys. Was Bowen on there?
Yeah, he was on that team.
Bowen was on the Bowen orders. Mm-hmm. We had a few other guys, but yeah, that was dude. We were nice. Yeah, we were pretty good.
Fun, that was one of the most fun sports teams I've been a part of, just because
my dad was the coach.
Yeah, the coaches, and then we all just fit in together. That was just fun to play.
And we obviously also all went to the same high school.
Yeah, exactly. So we knew each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So we kind of grew up and then ended up together.
So when you were younger, what sport did you want to pursue, and later on, what sport did you end up pursuing? Obviously it's basketball, but when did you realize it was going to be that?
Yeah. So early on, I wanted to play baseball. Mm-hmm. That was easily my sport I thought I was going to be the best at. Mm-hmm. And looking back on it, I kind of stopped working at it whenever I started transitioning into basketball around. I always get these years mixed up, but I think it was going into 10th grade was my first AAU year. I played basketball for the first time in the summer. I'd always played, school, middle school, stuff like that, but AAU for the first time going into 10th grade, and I played on the upstate team.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's right. But that was when I first started kind of not working at baseball. But looking back on it, like I was still sitting like low 80s at like 15, 16. So if I wanted to, I probably could have worked at it a little bit more and got good at it. But no, whenever I transferred over, obviously it's worked out pretty well. But yeah, baseball was always the sport I wanted to be good at, just because, it's what I always knew and loved. My dad also like kind of had a dream that whenever he was a kid, he wanted to be a baseball player, and that was kind of how I fed into it too. But yeah, that's low key is still in the back of the head.
I know.
I miss it.
That's how I am with football though, because it was like a point of time where I was in the summertime. I was working on basketball and football. I
remember that. Yeah.
I was going from football workouts to basketball.
Well, they
practice.
were mad that you didn't play in high school.
Yeah, I know. Like my last 2 years, like I wish I would have kept playing. It's like that always on my mind all the time.
Yeah, if you had played, there would have been some people that weren't going to get
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it worked out. Like
you know who else was good was Jack.
Jack, exactly.
Jack was nice.
He was good at football too. Yeah, but like he would have been playing somewhere.
Yeah, he would have been doing
on the team.
Jack would have been able to play about any sport he wanted to.
Yeah, any sport. He a true athlete, pure athlete.
5'10" white guy.
Yeah, 40-inch vertical.
Taking my rebounds. But yeah, man, I do remember the football days with you though.
Yeah, it was the same way.
Did you play up from middle school to high school in football, or are you not allowed to do that?
I played up from 7th grade. I played 8th grade.
That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, and then 9th grade I played JV. They put me straight to JV. But yeah,
you lost to Dawkins though, right?
Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
I lost to Dawkins, but my receivers was not catching the ball that game, bro. That's not my fault, bro. That's not my fault. But talk about your brother and sister and what type of impact they had on you. Like, what kind of inspiration did they put in your life early on and still now to this day? Yeah,
man. So I'm the youngest of 3. You know that, but. I started with my older brother. So older brother's 10 years older than me. Huge influence in my life. Just having somebody like that kind of role model in my life was huge for me because it was somebody I was able to like kind of see that far ahead and know see what he's going through. Whenever I was in elementary school, he was a senior in high school, and so that was cool for me to be able to see what he was going through and see his struggles and see how he's able to stay the course and overcome what he was working at. But that was a huge impact on my life. And, man, he still impacts me all the time. Yeah. But sister, she was also a huge impact on my life. A lot of the ways that she doesn't even really realize, because I never really told her, I didn't want her to think that I was mad at her or whatever for the sports side of stuff, because I was always working to kind of surpass her.
Exactly.
But, with her, I got to see everything. By the way, she's 2 years older, so I get to see her at a little closer frame. But I get to see everything she went through with recruiting right before I went through it. So as I was about to start getting recruited in 9th and 10th grade for basketball, she had just gone through all that. She committed in late 10th grade. And so as I was in end of 8th grade, then the next year is whenever it's a year and a half, is whenever I started to start pursuing basketball a little more. For sure. And then like PC was the first offer and stuff like that. That's whenever I started picking up beginning of 10th grade. And so seeing that in that close time frame was huge. It was able to just show me lessons, have somebody kind of walk me through that process and knowing what's going to happen. And, having parents that raise their kids up like they did, they were able to kind of guide me through that way.
Exactly. So it was kind of like the blueprint.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of followed
exactly. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of leeway for mistakes because I had everything laid out in front of me.
Yeah, you seen everything you needed to do. So that's kind of how it was for me though, because my sister is 10 years older than me, and my brother 3 years. So like I seen how they live, like and stuff they went through, and I can like find my way out of stuff just like they did. Like with recruiting, like my brother, like he went through it, and I had to go through the same thing.
Yeah.
He was trying to get into college for basketball, and I wanted to do the same thing. So that kind of motivated me. That's why I asked you. Like,
yeah, it was cool. You got to play with your brother too.
Yeah,
I never got to play with mine. Yeah,
that would have been
sick, man. Yeah,
2 6'10" bigs.
I do that'd be ridiculous. Yeah, I mean you one or two with your brother.
I got one state championship. The first one was with my brother.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah, that's real special for sure.
Yeah, that is special.
Yeah,
that's real special.
What was your earliest memory of like competing in basketball, and like when did you start falling in love with it?
Earliest memory competing in basketball was probably us playing Little League together. I played in the Upward Little League, but I mean that wasn't too competitive.
Yeah, that was just beginner stage.
that was more just some easy yelling. But yeah, probably the first competitive real fighting for a win would be middle school, and that was whenever I was like, okay, this is like what I think I want to do.
Yeah.
I obviously transferred into basketball more, transferred from baseball to basketball more in high school. But whenever I was playing middle school at Dawkins, that was like, okay, like this is what I love doing. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I enjoy like making a big play and having some antics and you know you know me.
I know how you is. Yeah.
I'm not a very low energy guy. I like to throw my arms in the air and talk a little crap and get the crowd into it. So whenever that started happening, that was whenever I was like, this is what I love doing. Yeah, like probably around 8th grade. Yeah,
about middle school time. Yeah. You was always like a big trash talker, bro, or like, cause you kind of slick with it. You really not really like, you really won't say it like to their face. You'll say something to.
I'll say some stuff to their face.
Yeah.
Like there have been a couple of things I said this past year that were like.
For sure.
Yeah, I was a little.
Yeah,
I was
you
a
got
little,
to.
Yeah, but
you got to.
No, that definitely started happening in high school. I don't know where it came from, and my dad used to get on my tail about it. My dad's a ref, or was, and so he used to always get on my tail like, you gotta stop doing that, man. You're gonna create a name for yourself that you don't want. And I'm like, dude, like I'm just having fun out there. And that's that's really what it is.
You can't help it.
I'm not out there like trying to make enemies or anything. It really is like it happens. Like, whenever I play, dude, I black out and I just like say whatever comes to mind.
It's just competitive nature.
Yeah,
That's how you is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But next question is about the little league we was just talking about.
Yeah.
So like, you were the only white person in that league, like the white player in that league.
Only pasty.
How did that like affect you, or did it affect you at all, or like did you really think about it?
Well, as a kid, I don't really think anyone thinks about it as a kid, especially at that age. But no, it's funny. Like just even from going from that, then like 10 years later when we were playing AAU together, me and Pat were the only two white guys in that organization, like the whole organization. So like, or at least the basketball side. So like, I guess then I thought about it, but like. Back then, I never thought about it. It was just like I was out there hooping.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say it probably helped me though. It definitely helped me. Is that Upward League? The Upward League was all white kids.
Yeah, for sure.
And it really wasn't anything happening in that league.
Yeah.
But that was definitely that was also a nice team.
Yeah,
we
team.
were nice.
It was a good team. Yeah.
We lost like one game.
I think we
in
lost
3 years.
Game. We lost one game.
Yeah.
In one of the leagues, but I remember that game because I was.
No, I remember.
So
I remember too.
I was so mad in the corner because I remember my dad would not let me take 3-point shots, and we lost. I
remember you telling me that.
I could not shoot threes.
You've told me that before.
He was like, "Yeah, you're not strong enough yet." Like,
no, that's real though. Like, that's real. Like, dude,
he never let me shoot them.
We just finished kids camp, and we have these kids that are out there 20 feet away from the basket, throwing the ball. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. And now your jump shot's gonna be messed up when you're 15. Like, yeah, it was a little different. I was always a little stronger than you.
Yeah, you was always shooting from out there. You and Trey, I always shoot from out there. He shoot any shot he wanted to shoot. So, yeah.
But yeah, that definitely was a funny experience. My dad tells a story. He said that first game he walks in, he knows Stag's dad really well. I think that's who invited us into the league. So, yeah. But he walks in the gym and really knew nothing about like where he was going or anything like that. He walks in, he's like looking around. And someone was like, hey, you looking for somebody? My dad's like, who do you think I'm looking for? Just checking around, man.
They thought she was in the wrong place. But now, though, when you was in middle school, like, did you look, like, because I know when I was in middle school, I knew all of y'all, like, at Gable and Dawkins, because we all going to Dorman. So I'm going to be playing with y'all, like, when we get to high school. So
yeah, you were already at the high school level.
Yeah, 8th grade I was. So I was still kind of looking at y'all. But did you look at the roster? Like, was you trying to make a roster when you was in middle school? Like, this is what's going to be? And,
I was thinking that more in high school, in 9th grade, because I played JV my 9th grade year, which a lot of people don't realize.
Nah, they don't. They don't know that.
Yeah. I did do that. I mean, maybe a little bit my 8th grade year or something, but whenever I was in 9th grade, I remember thinking, I might have actually said it to Jack, but I was like, dude, like, because y'all won the first one. Yeah. And then I was like, we really could win 4. Yeah, like, exactly. Like, we're going to have a good team. And it actually got to the point, like, whenever I was on the varsity team my sophomore year, it was like, I expected to win.
Yeah.
It was like, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna go out there and win.
It's an expectation.
I definitely remember looking at those guys, like like you. I knew Key real well, Jack, Staz, and all that. I knew that we were going to come up and have a team together. Then obviously a couple guys came in that people were not fond. That Dorman was doing that. But man, that was definitely really cool to see that develop and to see like people don't realize that like we were like if we just had those guys, we still
gonna be nice.
Exactly. Still would have been state champions.
Yeah,
I don't think people quite realize. Now, like that's not taken away from anyone that came in, but like because then that's what put us on like that. Like, I think whenever Justin came in, that probably was what elevated us to the national level.
Yeah, even before that though, like when Talon came, like
that was
still,
big time too.
You know what I mean? Like we still was playing national games.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But it all worked. But so how did playing JV, did that help you? You think like that helped your game a lot?
No, for sure. That honestly, that was probably one of the times where I had to like look at myself and be like, okay, like, are you gonna be good enough to like be good at this game? Because even on JV, I didn't start. Yeah. John Jalot was on that team.
Oh yeah, John. Yeah,
John was 6'7", and he went to Duke for football and. He was, I don't know, like 250 at the time. I was like, golly. So like, I was trying to feel my way into that. And it's funny, I remember Coach Justin Johnson. I've said this before. I said it whenever I did the press conference when I committed to Clemson. He told me we were all practicing at Dorman, and it was after, and I was messing around shooting the ball. And he told Sam and all those guys, they're like, just wait, this kid's gonna be really good. And he said that like to me, but to them. And I was like, I put like wind under my wings. I was like, okay, like you just gotta keep at it. At the time, like I said, I wasn't starting on JV, and I was like, I wanted to go to the NBA. So I was like, this is not where NBA players are. And so that was kind of like, don't look at the outside, look at yourself, and make sure you're still staying the course.
Was Coach Johnson the head coach for the JV?
Yeah.
I remember him. He's one of the realest coaches. Like he never sugarcoated nothing.
Loved that guy.
He never sugarcoated.
He was awesome.
Like, he would be on me all the time. I remember. But talk about the way like me and you played together. Like when it came together 10th grade year. Like we played together for Little League, but when it came up to middle school, we stopped because you went to Dawkins, I went to Fat Forest, and then 9th grade you was on JV, and then I was on varsity. So when we came together 10th grade and on up through high school, like talk about the way me and you played off each other, and why do you think we were like kind of effective?
I think probably the biggest thing we were effective was just we had you and knew what to do with the ball. Like it still happens sometimes where I'll come out of a timeout and I like won't know what's going on. We used to come out of those timeouts and Coach Ryan would draw something up. I'd go straight to Myles. I'd be like, hey man, what did he draw up? I would
straight lines on the
dude,
board,
I'm like, I don't know what this guy's doing. But you obviously had such a high basketball IQ at that age that I was able to like, use you to elevate me. And so playing like the 2-man game and knocking the pace up, making it faster, playing up somebody's tail, like that's like what made us so good is we were able to use our advantages or our skills to our advantage. And so my favorite thing was definitely the 2-man game we had. I mean, being able to just play off each other, pick and roll, and one of my favorite things we did was throw into the post and I'd like tap it right back out to you.
You don't even catch it. You just tap it.
Just tap it right back to you.
I know.
That was. I mean, it was definitely special to be able to play alongside you, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it. But I feel like the biggest thing, like not even the biggest, but my favorite thing we used to do is like when we kind of come out the pick and roll and like I look at you. And you're gonna slip, and I'm gonna throw it like every time. Bro. Like I don't care if I turn it over, I'm gonna throw it though. Like I remember one time we was at Spartan High, and like I threw like a no look, and you just knew to slip. Like we didn't even look at each other. You just knew to slip. But it's just stuff like that like made it special. Like the connection between me and you.
Yeah, and it also made it special. Is like not only did we like each other, but like everyone on the team liked each other.
Yeah, we all.
Like that's how it felt like this past year at Clemson. Like whenever you have a team that like. Everybody likes each other. Everybody's messing around with each other. Whenever we go to road trips, we're like in each other's hotel rooms messing around and stuff like that. That's like what makes those teams fun. What makes it so good. Like people, that's really under appreciated the team camaraderie.
Camaraderie is like, probably it ain't bigger than like the game, but like it's just like what you
like
need.
One of the most fun trips ever. Like this past year, we went to team went to France for the foreign tour.
Oh, yeah.
But and that was obviously like the coolest trip I've ever taken.
for
But
sure.
one of the most fun trips ever was when we went to the Beach Ball Classic. And we were down there in the hotel for like a week. That was so fun.
Like usually when you with a team, like you get tired of them, bro. I was not tired of y'all, bro.
We did not get tired.
I did not want to leave at all, bro.
Dude, that camp or that tournament was so fun.
That was one of the best trips ever, bro. Like, I ain't even want to leave, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And it was Christmas the next day.
It was Christmas.
Like,
we won. That was so fun.
That
man.
was, bro. Talk about the way Dorman developed players. Like how you like. The way like we get better every day, like
extremely
how effective was
underrated part of Dorman. Like people, there's this misconception nowadays that like, oh, they're just bringing in these, especially when we were there, they're just bringing in these players that are helping win state championships, which already wasn't true.
Yeah.
But like, people don't realize the player development that we put into guys, and I think one of the best examples is like Jordan Surratt. Dude, like whenever he first got to varsity, like. Remember how broke his jump shot was?
Exactly.
It was horrible.
It was.
I mean, I love Jordan. I've told him that. Yeah. Like it was not good at all.
Yeah.
It looked like it hurt when he shot it.
Yeah.
And so if we used to have him on the side,
put time in.
every
during
day,
practice,
before practice, every day, and working on his ball handling, his strength, his shot, his touch, his fluidness, and he's a Division I player now.
Exactly.
He was already a good athlete, and he had that.
He was just raw.
Yeah, he was so raw.
Yeah.
And so, like, that kind of player development is ridiculous. I think another one, this is an even bigger example, transfers in because he played JV at Spartan High.
Noah.
Comes to Dorman, is
Kleiner.
Strictly a defensive player. Like, shot blocker. There's
catch and finish.
Like not really a jumper. He just got drafted because he's a 3-point shooter now.
Exactly.
And like he obviously they're gonna work on that at Alabama.
Yeah.
But he climbed all the way to 42 in the ESPN rankings at Dorman.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the development is.
And I feel like the development it builds confidence too.
Yeah.
Like, I just
100%.
Like, I knew because of the reps I got in during the week, like. With the coaches, what the game was gonna be like.
Yeah, and you can develop at other places too. Dorman's not the only place that does it. Because like you can also develop on your own, and we did that. Like, we'd have a Friday night game, and we're in the gym shooting after the game. And so I mean, like Dorman obviously did so much for us, but like you also have to take what they're taking. You have to take what they're giving you. Like if you don't want to work at it, they're not gonna force you. They're not gonna
make you.
Yeah, exactly. You obviously got to go through practices. You can come to the morning workouts if you want, but if you're not doing stuff other than that, then there's not a whole lot they can do for you.
You gotta want it yourself. Yeah. So transitioning to college now, like how did you know Clemson was a spot, and like how did you make a decision?
I didn't really know there was a spot. At first, I thought it was Florida. My whole time getting recruited before I started narrowing it down, I thought it was Florida. And my sister went there for volleyball. You knew that, and she was obviously, this and that in volleyball, and so I went down there so much to see her play, and the more I went down there, the more I realized that it really wasn't for me. Like, dude, it's a big old campus, tons of people moving around, it's spread out, it's about 6.5 hours away, and I was like, the more I go down there, it's just not really for me. And so then, as I was getting recruited, I actually remember I was over at Jack's house, and they were like, Clemson had like just offered. And they were like, do they even have a chance of getting you? Is there a chance to go there? And I was like, no, there's like not a shot. There's no chance I'm going there. And then I went on a visit, and I loved it. So then I kept going back, and it was so easy for me to go. I'd go to a game, I'd go for the weekend just to see the campus again. And then as time went on, I knew, I was like, holy crap, I love this. And it also helped, I built a relationship with the players. Like I knew Amir real well. Hunter was like, my host from 10th grade and on. Then I just lived with him this past year. So like, that's one of my closest friends now. And it was definitely very cool to see that develop, that relationship with Coach Brownell and Dean, who's now at Georgia. But like, he recruited me big time whenever he was there. So it was really cool to kind of see how it developed. I also loved Virginia Tech, man. It came down to Clemson and Virginia Tech because Mike Young, being coach at Wofford, he coached my dad. And so then, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes,
I didn't know Mike Young was your dad. I know he went to Wofford, but I know he didn't.
Yeah, he was the assistant whenever my dad was playing. So he was on staff there, and then like growing up, I went to all those camps. Like went to all the Wofford camps. And then as I started getting recruited, I was like, dang, like, I I love Coach Young. Blacksburg's awesome. But then whenever it came down to nitty gritty, I was like, I want to stay around home. And it was a big deal for me to kind of stay home at the time too.
So people can be there for you. So did you have like a welcome to college moment? Like this could have been like in practice or game, workout, anything like.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, obviously, like Jalen Johnson was pretty bad.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, that was probably like that's what everyone says is my welcome to college moment. But personally, like I have a couple other ones that I hated even more than that.
For sure.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, man. Someone actually brought that up. Where was I?
Oh.
I think it was RJ Godfrey on the tape. We were somewhere. He brought it up recently, but
I forgot all about that, bro.
But yeah, I'd say the first one that was like okay, like it's time to go. Like you know, like now I'm in better shape and stuff like that. I'm used to the college game, but in high school it was the same way, dude. If we started going up and down, I was gassed. I was gassed.
So, like my first college game, I was gassed. Like the first media time,
I'm about to talk about first practice.
Asking for water. Oh, you talking about practice?
So we're there, and in summer workouts, like I'm not gonna lie, I was like kind of killing. I was playing really well. I was shooting the crap out of the ball, and then but it was like almost all half court stuff.
Yeah.
And then we started going into actual like short hour and a half practices, and Amir just started. I mean, he was like chiseled, great shape all the time. Yeah. So we started going up and down. I started getting I'm starting to cake in, and so obviously that was like, oh crap, this is tough. This is pretty hard.
For sure.
And that was probably whenever I was like, okay, this is gonna be a pretty tough year. And that was whenever I had to start stepping up, trying to get in shape more, and trying to start taking that more serious.
Yeah. You playing with like Amir and Hunter, like that helped you a lot. Right?
Oh yeah.
They both pros, like you battling them every day. Like.
No, that was big time. Going my whole freshman year against Amir was probably the biggest thing for my development. Probably more so up here. Like I still do a lot of the same moves. I still have the same shot and everything like that. Everyone thinks that like, oh, dude, your three-pointer got so much better. I'm like, no, it didn't.
It's
like,
the same shot.
Yeah, it's the same shot. I just didn't shoot that much. And whenever I did, I didn't have the confidence my freshman year. Like I had the same skill set. Yeah. But going up against that guy and getting like my tail kicked every day, like made me a lot more mentally tough. Made me realize like, okay, like you're gonna have to approach every day with a mindset of trying to work. Yeah. And I had that in high school, but it's just different at the college level. That's what people don't really understand. I know you went through that too, man. Like when you get to college, it's like it's time to go. Exactly. It's a whole nother. It's a job. Yeah. It's a whole nother level. Yeah.
You want like going into practice like in college. Like I never knew the importance of like trying to win that day.
Yeah,
win the day. That's actually a thing. Like,
win the day, man.
In practice in high school, like I'm just trying to get buckets on Trey.
No,
Sean.
yeah,
like, I'm just trying to kill him every day. Like I didn't care about nothing. Killing Trey Sean. Like that was my job.
Used to go at it.
Yeah, that was my job.
It was always fun. Like so, not Brown. Coach Ryan would be like, all right, baby. If Blue wins right here, they're starting tomorrow. I'm like, Coach, come on, man.
Exactly. Like, come on, bro. Be for real, bro. Be for real. But
Stacks.
Nah, though. Like, I knew, like, in practice, that was my job to, like, try to kill him. But in college, though, like, you really got to approach it, like, with a real, like, serious mental, it's like a mental battle.
Yeah.
Like, trying to win the day for real. So
yeah, no, that's huge. And people don't realize, like when you're playing at college level and you're going every day in and day out, day in day, it's a grind. And like this sounds stupid, but you've had to have gone through it too. When you go to class or you come in the morning, this is end season. Come in the morning, work out, go to class. So you're inside the whole day. Like the only time you see the sun is when you're walking into practice.
You walking
point A to point B, and then because then whenever you finish practice, it's dark outside.
It's dark.
Dude, you never get any sunlight. It's depressing. Yeah, if you don't.
Especially when for me it was depressing because I'm out 7 hours away. Like I can't just like go home if I really want to. Like,
that's gotta suck too.
And it's snowing. Like I'm
it's cold. It's cold.
I got my hood on, headphones on, just mad walking to my dorm. Like I gotta do this again tomorrow. Like, I used to hate it.
Yeah, man. Nah, it is tough for sure. And like if you don't approach it like okay, I gotta win today and attack this practice, attack this workout, attack this lift. Yeah. Like literally just the lift.
Exactly.
It's gonna beat you.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you down. You're gonna lose.
Definitely took some.
You're gonna lose, man. Yeah, I've taken quite a few. There have been times where I would finish a lift and like didn't even remember what I did. I didn't even remember the lift.
I don't remember how many reps I just did. Nothing. Like I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Bro. But
yeah, man, it's a grind.
Yeah, you can get through it though. You just gotta have a strong mindset.
No, exactly, and that comes with time too. Like that's like just that's those bumps kind of like going through injuries like we have and stuff. It makes you better.
Oh yeah, it do. So while you in college now, like where did you get your confidence from? Because like if people don't watch you, like you play with a lot of swag, like a lot of confidence to yourself, and it like kind of triggers to your team, like it affects them, like it make them play better too. So where you get your confidence from on a college level, and like how do you maintain that?
Dude, I really couldn't even tell you. I swear to you, like that's what we were talking about earlier. I just black out, like, and you definitely remember in high school, like before a game, it's like I'm like twitching, twitching, ready to go.
Exactly.
And so like before a game, like I don't know, like drink a Red Bull or something. got my headphones on, like and,
locked in.
Locked in. So then like when I'm on the court, man, it's like I just like go out there and play. That's really what I have no recollection of like telling myself to do a certain thing or anything like that. But in terms of like just having some swagger, like dude, it probably comes from playing in that church league in AAU. Playing with like all my boys and like just like having a good time and like just having something to you. It's like just having an edge, having something to you that'll make it a little different. That's what I've always dude. That's what I've always done. Yeah, and same with you. Like playing with a chip even when there's not one there. Like at Dorman, like. I mean, we didn't have a chip on our. Like, we were like,
but we did. Yeah, we had a chip.
We had a chip on our shoulder, but it was like
we was the one.
We did. Yeah, we were the ones getting targeted. But like, if you don't have that chip, then like you have a problem. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I can't just step like I hate when I see somebody step on the court and they look casual. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's crazy.
I can't like go play pickup and be casual.
Dude, it's never made any sense to me. And like going through the combine stuff this summer, like. I would go work out for teams. I specifically remember one time I was getting taken back to my hotel, and this guy, we were just talking about players and stuff like that. And he was like, "Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, I'll walk into the locker room sometimes and I'll see X player, or not X, but I'll see PJ Hall and he just doesn't want to play. I can tell." And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like,
you're in the NBA. Like, man, dude, if I go play pickup right now, like, I'm gonna go like balls to the wall and talk a little something. Like that's just how I do anything though. Yeah. Like if I go play golf, like, I'm gonna do the same thing. Like which I've been playing a lot of golf.
I know. I be seeing you on the green, bro.
Yeah, man. I really couldn't tell you where that little swagger, the little shade to me comes. It's just there. Yeah, I've always had that. Been there, though. It came about in high school and it's kind of never left. Dad tried to get it out of me, but I couldn't shake it. Yeah.
You feel like is that like something you can't? Because I feel like you can't teach that. Like you can't put that in somebody. Like you can be 6'6" and have a 40-inch vertical and can shoot, but you can't give somebody like heart.
I don't think you can either. It's just this. It's your personality, really. And the thing is, like, so we did a personality test at Clemson. It was it's kind of crazy. It was like broke down everything about me. It was actually wild how accurate it was. But it gives you your normal personality and stuff, and then it gives you your adaptive personality. So like what you do in a tense situation or something like that. And so like my adaptive personality was like have something to you, and like it's called a D. It's called a dominator. And so like that was like
we did that too.
Yeah, so like, but my regular personality is like just laid back.
Exactly.
Like, so whenever that flips, that switch flips, it's like it's go time. It's ready to turn it on.
You can't turn it off either.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it's always been, man. Like when I'm on the court, when I'm on the field or any kind of competitive environment, dude. We used to play Kahoot in high school. Like, I wanted to win. I wanted to win the Kahoot, man.
Forgot about Kahoot. Nah, for real, I never wanted to lose.
Dude, I did not.
I get a question wrong, bro. I'm mad the whole class. Like, yeah, bro. But talk about like some stuff you had to overcome in college, and like, I know we both of us big on faith. Like, we God-fearing men. Like, how did your faith like help you in those situations?
Yeah, man. It's definitely been a bumpy road. I've had a couple different trials. First one, obviously, my freshman year was. I wasn't playing. I scored like a total of 74 points my freshman year, and that was like I was coming in as a top 50 recruit, in-state kid. I was expecting to go in there and contribute right away, be a factor on the court. So that was a big thing for me to have to overcome. Like, okay, like not just overcome of staying focused and working, but overcome like you can still do this. Like you know, like, get back into it, work, like put your head down and grind, and then come back the next year ready to go.
Yeah.
But the ones that were like injuries, those were ones that just like took the wind out from underneath me. And like I've had two. I had the foot injury and the knee injury. Had a stress fracture in my foot, and then a patella dislocation on my kneecap, which just the kneecap comes out, and then tore a ligament right there. Both are all better, but yeah, I tell you what, man. Like my sophomore years when I did the foot, and that one was frustrating because it happened in the year, and it happened November-ish, end of November. So basically the diagnosis was like, so it's broken, but it won't get worse. So like, if you can play, then play. So basically what we did was the whole year don't practice. And so for me, that's like frustrating. Is then I'm not getting any extra reps. I'm not being able to go up and down. I'm out of shape. I'm only doing the bike. So having to trust God that like, hey, like this is part of your plan. There's a reason this is going on. I was hoping that like my sophomore year would be the year I got drafted, because I was coming in. I was 19. I was still young. I was going through all that, and then I was having a great year. And then that happens. My numbers kind of trickle down a little bit. So that was a big thing for me to kind of trust that he's doing the right thing, and I know he is. I mean, like he's perfection. And so coming after that, had the foot surgery coming out of my sophomore year, right after the year, and then that was whenever I was like, okay, like when I come back from this, like it's go time. It's up. And literally, man, I tell you what, like it was devastating, man. The first practice back of my foot, within the first 15 minutes, do my knee. And so it was like, it went to the ground, the air gets sucked out of the building, and it was like, holy crap, this kid can't catch a break. And so that was like, I remember sitting on the ground, like basically everybody helps me up, and kind of pulls me over to the side. I'm sitting there, and I remember sitting there like, dude, like why? Like God, why did this just happen? Like my trainer was like, yeah, it looks like a sprain. Tell my coach it should be no more than 2 or 3 weeks to be all right. I think he was trying to lie to himself too. But like, I felt a pop, and I knew it wasn't good, and I was like, this is not a 2 or 3 week thing. So I knew in the back of my head it wasn't good. But sitting down right there and knowing that like there's a reason this is happening, there's a plan God has in place, and in the end it's gonna be perfect. And so like knowing that is probably my biggest thing I fought with, knowing that it's gonna be all right. And so that's where I've always looked at, knowing that it's gonna be okay. I know you've gone through something similar with your knee. That was devastating. Last game of the year, freshman year, that was heartbreaking to hear, man. Yeah,
that's why I asked Sharon like the same thing, because I know he had got hurt too. But when I hear about like injuries and stuff, like I want to know about like different people's mindsets, like because I know I went through the same thing, bro. Like having to sit, I know that's the worst.
You had never been hurt before.
Yeah, never.
You literally had never been hurt before.
I never missed anything. Like, but so when I had to miss stuff in college, like I didn't know how to take it. So you know what I mean, when you had to sit like and watch practices and stuff, I know that hurt. Like, and there were times where it was just like, I don't even want to come in. Like, I don't want to be in the gym. Exactly. I don't want to look at a basketball. And so like going through that, but also at the same time, I knew that my team needed me there, because like just me sitting on the sideline, cheering and clapping, like it did make a difference. There were times, I remember one time, they're BS around practice. They're not competing hard. They're not going at each other. And I crutched over to Brownell, and I was like, hey man, like let me talk to him real quick. We all got in a circle, and I was like, dude, like this is BS. Like you gotta pick this up. Exactly. Like look what I'm doing. I'm here. I wish I could be out there with y'all, but like y'all got to take what you're doing and not take it for granted. Like I know there are times like you don't want to practice, you don't want to do this or that, but it could be a whole lot worse. Exactly. And you could not be able to practice. Yeah, because when you're out, you see everything.
Exactly. When you're out, you want to play. When you're in, you don't want to. Yeah. And so, or some people don't want to. So knowing that and not taking your health for granted, that's huge, man.
Yeah, health is everything, bro. Yeah. So I'm glad you're better now, and looking forward to like watching you this year for sure.
It's gonna be special. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. Like people, it's frustrating. Is I went through the whole combine thing, telling these guys that they didn't really understand. This is part of the reason why the combine went so well, and then my workouts went so well, because they didn't know that I wasn't healthy last year.
Yeah.
Like they knew that I went through the surgery, but
they didn't know the foot was like.
Well, the foot was good. So
Yeah.
the problem was like I had the knee done in. Trying to think. Season starts in October or November. Had like 3 months before November. So it's a 4-month recovery, and I did it in 3.
Okay.
And so because we were trying to get me back on the court. I mean, we had a couple guys that were able to play the 5, but obviously it'd be nice to have me out there. And so so
him. Nice to have him on the court.
So we do the recovery in 3 instead of 4 months, and I mean like it was healthy, but it had no muscle on it. It wasn't strong enough. I wasn't able to condition. So the whole year, I was playing on like one leg.
Yeah.
And so I was struggling to be explosive. I was struggling to get up and down the court. My jump shot was a little funky. I was having pain in my knee. So that was a whole struggle the whole year. So then going to the combine, I had about 2 months to strengthen it, recover it, and get all this pain out of it. And so, dude, I was like almost back to my full self.
Exactly.
So all these guys were like, we had no idea you can move like this, guard and jump like this. I'm like, dude, y'all don't even realize.
They don't even know.
Like, dude, this isn't even the full thing yet.
Exactly.
Like it's definitely gonna be a special year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You kind of spoke on it. So like, what was the combine like, and like, what was the process like, and like, what did you learn? What's the biggest thing you learned out there? Like,
biggest thing I learned is like, honestly, like probably once you're a pro, like you're a pro. Like it's a whole different world, and that's part of the reason why I came back. Like once you're out of college, like, you're an adult, man, and so you got to deal with like the taxes, the schedule, all the pressure that comes with it, and all that stuff. So when I'm going through it, I was kind of like, oh shoot, like this is pretty intense, and it was cool, but no, I loved it though. It was a great time. It was definitely something that I'm glad that I went through. Like instead of like just doing it next year, because I kind of always planned on coming back. But once it became a reality that like I had the option to go, I had to make a decision. But it was still like I wanted to come back to Clemson.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was fun, man. I went out and worked out in Milwaukee, worked out in Utah. I canceled Charlotte and Cleveland for the combine, because I was right before the combine and right after the combine. Okay. And then I would have done other workouts too, but then I made the decision to come back. Exactly. So it was definitely fun though. I'll tell you what, I was in Chicago for a while though for that combine. So I went up for the G League combine, and then I played really well and got invited to the NBA combine. Yeah. So then that was a great experience too. It was also really fun to do it with Hunter. Yeah. It's like we obviously, like I said, he was my host all the way through high school. Was tight with him on the court. Lived with him this past year, so like, it was really fun to go through that with him. Yeah.
Seeing y'all boys on the in the combine, I was like, wow, bro, it's really like Noah out there, Jay Gord, Dylan, like all y'all. I'm like, wow,
Dylan had a great combine too.
All y'all boys was doing y'all thing. I was just proud of y'all boys.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, dude. That was really fun. It was cool to see Dylan out there too. Yeah.
Was you on Gort's team, right?
Yeah, me and Gord played together. Yeah, that was fun. Exactly. Yeah, really fun. Yeah. He just got 2-way with Boston.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. So we do a top 5 segment on here, and our top 5 going to be, what's your top 5 plays between me and you?
So I think at 5, the behind the back pass from you to me against Wilson, dunk.
10th grade?
Yeah, 10th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah. Late in the game, that was pretty nice.
Okay.
4 is the Oak Hill dunk, first play of the game, dump off, baseline dump off.
Oh yeah. Should have won. It's cool.
Dude, me and you played so bad.
It's cool, bro. It's
cool. 3 would be the Greer game winner.
Oh yeah.
3-pointer game winner. And then Irmo, the no look 2-hand dunk.
Dagger.
That was
a dagger. Real dagger.
And I think number 1 is the Chick-fil-A dunk with a slip pass.
Oh, yeah. Slip pass.
On top of that guy.
The body.
Yeah, the body.
For sure. Man. But that's going to be a wrap for this episode. Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Having you on, man. That's really going to be a wrap for season 1. And next episode going to be season 2, man. We out.